frankly, is a company called ASP Isotopes. So ASPI, ticker symbol, do own it. It's become a big position for us because it's done quite well. But basically, they're it's a really neat business. They basically have two sides of the business. They have medical isotopes, and then they've got a JV that does quantum laser enrichment for uranium. Okay. And the specific end market for that is something called HALU, which is high assay, low enrichment uranium. And that goes into next generation uranium reactors, specifically the small nuclear modular reactor. Okay. So why is this business interesting to me? This little South African business at that. So what I learned in looking into this business is, to the best of my knowledge, only two countries never signed on to the nuclear proliferation agreement, Saudi Arabia and South Africa. And South Africa had a very strong nuclear research team during the apartheid days. When apartheid ended, that program ended, and those scientists had to go figure something else out. And what they did is they created this technology to do QLE, quantum laser enrichment, but also a new methodology to separate isotopes. Okay, and this new methodology to separate isotopes is effectively cheaper, faster, better, right? Like, cut to the chase. That's the idea of it. And where this becomes really interesting is in medical isotopes. So think like, I can't name it, but ytterbium, I think is what it's called. I might be wrong on the name, I apologize. But there's all sorts of different radioactive medical isotopes, most of which come out of heavy reactors, most of which come out of Russia. Okay, obviously dealing with Russia right now is a no-go. So there's been a massive deficit in supply for these guys. ASP is ramping into that market. And then there's a bunch of other non-medical isotopes, things like specialized silicon that go into quantum chips, et cetera, on that business. So that's a really interesting business. They've got their first sales starting in Q1, and it's ramping aggressively. I think they probably do maybe 10 million, 12 million in sales this year on that business. So that's kind of interesting. And it's like high margins, 80% plus. But the really attractive part here is this QLE. And to the best of my knowledge, there's only really one competitor. It's a company called Silex in Australia. So market cap on Silex is like 800 million plus. They've got a partnership with Cameco. And just the other day, actually, the CFO of Cameco came out and said, I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but paraphrase, Silex is years away from being able to make HALU. Okay? Whereas
Gostou? Então segue o canal para mais cortes virais e notícias todo dia.